a sunny day, I met you up in the garden. You were digging plants, I dug you, beg your pardon. I took a photograph of you in the herbaceous border. It broke the heart of men and flowers and girls and trees. Another rainy day, we're trapped inside with the train set. Chocolate on the boil, steamy windows when we met. You got the attic window looking out on the cathedral. And on a Sunday evening, bells ring out in the dusk.
Tell me a little bit about who Griffin is.
You're not recording right now, right?
I am.
That's a crazy question. Griffin is a source of elegance.
Griffin is one of the funniest, most unique people I've ever met. He has a sense of humor not quite like any of ours, but I think we all work together pretty well.
He's 5'10",
It's been one of my closest friends at college.
beautiful eyes,
He's funny. He's charismatic.
built 170.
Griffin, he's definitely very reliable. He's someone you want in your corner. If you ever need anything, you just want someone to be there for you, and Griffin is that person.
Brave. He's a very outgoing, friendly guy that loves to piss you off on purpose. Bro will go out of his way to annoy you, but at the same time, go out of his way to bring you up. Strong.
Dedicated. Like, he is probably the most dedicated human I have known in terms of like him in Frisbee, in terms of him like working out for getting into the Marines, going into the military in general.
Because, you know, you see his fitness accounts and everything, and he's always on the grind.
He gets to something and he wants to, like, he has that natural drive in him. It's very inspiring and he's super funny. Like, he always make you laugh. And the humor is just like, doesn't even make sense, but it still makes you laugh.
But then you also see him in person, and you see him at practice, or you see him at a party, and he's just like, he just wants to like be around people and just like lighten up everybody's mood. I've never met somebody who's quite as like energetic in such a positive way as him.
Like, the most ambitious, hard-working thing, and mixing it with like the absolute dumbest bag of rocks you've ever seen in your life, but in like the most loving way possible.
You know, he's a friend that you want to have, because he's a friend that tells you the truth when you need it, gives you the hard truth, and also knows when to build you up at the same time. He's you can basically do anything with the kid. I mean, he's a fucking...
He always just tries to be himself. He doesn't try to be some other person that he's not.
He's a lad's lad. He's someone that always can make you laugh. He's just a very kind-hearted individual, and these are just really all good qualities to have, and Griffin has everyone.
He always has your back. He's so incredibly trustworthy, and he's just always there for you.
I can't name like a single flaw about him that's not even like to be funny. It's like there's not really any flaws there. He's like a perfect person.
Is one of the most compassionate guys I have ever met in my life. I mean, he is an absolute joy of a human being to be around. His consistent happiness, his optimism, the energy he gives off is unlike any person I've ever met.
He's always been a very sociable person. He's always gone out of his way to make himself laugh, but definitely others around him. And there hasn't been a time when I've seen Griffin where there hasn't been a smile on his or my face.
You can just, I don't know, Griffin's just that guy. That's how you describe it.
I first met Griffin.
I met my boy Griffin our freshman year, 2019, September, playing Frisbee.
it was when I first met Aiden and Kyle. It was either at practice or when we were just tossing.
During Frisbee. I have no recollection of when I first met him. I feel like me and him weren't that close in the beginning, and
When I remember, it was at ultimate practice, like pretty early on in our freshman year, and I just remember this very athletic kid who was super intense about it.
I remember it was like the first or second day of practices, and I was wearing a Glen Rock football shirt, and he was like, "Yo, are you is this Glen Rock, like Glen Rock, New Jersey?"
I actually don't remember how I met Griffin, but
Right, it was the same as Kyle. Tiny threw us, me, Kyle, and Jason, and this other guy who we didn't know, to just a random group chat, right?
We were loading up into Tiny's car for an ultimate Frisbee tournament in Clarkson freshman year.
Okay, so here we are outside of Collins Circle, and
His orange cube.
here's Griffin, and that's when I first met him.
Griffin and I were loading our cars with our normal care packages of stuff, and then Jason comes in with multiple huge boxes of all of his clothes and just everything from his dorm, and I don't know what he was trying to do with all that, but it definitely was not fitting. It definitely was not fitting in Tiny's cube.
He sat shotgun the whole way up to Clarkson, and I sat in the middle.
So yeah, that's how I met Griffin, and then we had fun at that tournament.
Because we went on to have great memories, Cold Stone runs and everything, and that kind of four was how our whole kind of group started. So in that car with Tiny.
Well, I don't recall exactly when we first met, but I do recall our first bonding moment that Griffin and I had together. And Griffin, you know this well. We were at Clarkson your freshman year. I was your B team captain, and you had decided to order Domino's at 10:30 at night and proceeded to eat it on the hood of a car outside the Clarkson fields, and I walked out with you, and we shared a really great bonding moment. I talked about my late grandfather, and you talked about your family, and we really connected there. And then 4 years after that, we met in that same spot and bonded over the same exact thing.
So the first time I actually met Griffin was in a Zoom room after we got sent home from our freshman year at college. He really helped me out with a test that I would have probably failed otherwise. But our first proper introduction was at the 830 house at one of their many parties.
The first time I remember meeting Griffin was probably at 171 Quail. We were playing beer baseball with Four Locos.
Earliest memories I have of Griffin are just stupid shit, like the Spencer's store and cone dragging drunk exploration nights and a lot of pull-ups.
I have no idea when the first time I met Griffin was, and I expect Griffin to share that same sentiment. There's no way he knows either, but I just feel as if there was a point in my life where Griffin was not in it, then all of a sudden, almost like an apparition, he just was there all the time, just hanging out. And
We all were in Tiny's car heading down, and I remember him and Kyle were just fighting in the back seat next to me, pretty much wrestling in the back seat, which was so funny. And then we get there, and we're all set up, we're having a good time, whatever. We all go to bed, and I'm in bed with Tiny. I think Griffin's in bed with Kyle, and then all of a sudden we're all ready to fall asleep, and you just hear and Tiny and I look at each other what the fuck was that? We look over, Griffin's sounding like a Banshee helicopter over the fucking Vietnam War. I could pretty much hear Fortunate Son playing, but it always sticks out to me as such a funny memory, and that's one of my earliest.
Griffin has changed me as a person by, I guess, just really being myself around other people instead of trying to act a certain way, or maybe I'm kind of shy to be myself around.
I think being around Griffin shows you, I guess, what it means to be an honest person. He wears his heart on his sleeve. There's no, he's never gonna get bullshit from Griffin.
He always tries to hype me up and shake me. He goes, come on, Mer. I'm like, all right, let's go. We got this, Griffin.
Definitely shows people how to, what it means to be like an honest person and like an upstanding person, doing the right thing even when nobody's looking.
And like I said before, it's so easy to love the guy, and it's so easy to trust him and be his friend. And that's the kind of person you want to be, and that's the kind of person he's helped me to be, is that just being there for my friends whenever you need, and whether it's through tough times or great times. And he puts such a good model of like what makes a good friend, and that's exactly what I want to be.
All those campus loops and runs that we would do during COVID in the dorms.
He got me to like be able to be more confident when I work out, mainly like try to get into shape.
Griffin kind of got me out of the dorms to actually do something.
Like he was the first person to start drinking protein shakes in our house. I started, and then I saw that, and we were like, I was interested in trying it. I got into it, and like just like stuff like that, like little like health things, just like going to the gym, working out. Like he got me into honestly all that stuff.
Even though I definitely did not want to get up at 7 a.m. to do a campus loop and do these runs and go to the police academy and do push-ups. 7 a.m. was kind of rough, but Griffin motivated me to do it, and I didn't enjoy it at the time, but it paid off.
Lost a couple of brain cells along the way, I think, but never short of a good time.
With all due respect, Griffin, I don't know if you shaped me in any way, and I hope I didn't shape you. But I can say that whenever we've gone together, no matter where it is, we have always had an open relationship, and we've been able to communicate about whatever we needed to each other, and it was always a fun time. And I've mentioned it before, we've always had a smile on our face, there's no shortage of laughter, and you definitely bring a light to my life. So
Like, I've never seen him mad at another person. I only see him like internally, figuring out his own situation. Like if we were on the field and he dropped a disc or he couldn't make a run that he wanted, he would get mad at himself and like really internalize it and kind of like take it to heart and then fix it on the next play. And that's something that I've absolutely taken to heart. I think we could all learn something about that.
Griffin was there for me at my lowest point, as everybody was, but he like made sure that every day like I was doing stuff to make myself better, doing stuff to kind of progress. Griffin got me in the gym, and now I've been going to the gym for like a year. And yeah, like Griffin has shaped me into the person I am today, and especially in the past year, by just being there for me, being a very, very good friend.
I remember there was times where, I would be extremely at my lows, like, sophomore year, I was going through a really hard time. Griffin would always, care for me and, be there for me. It was always like a person who I could always rely on and go to if I had any problems. And he's one of those people who always has your back,
Griff has made me much more ambitious, much more accountable for myself, much more disciplined.
It was my first time being a captain for anything, especially on a Frisbee team, and Griff did a really good job in making me care about my players on a personal level. I didn't connect with anybody initially until I connected with Griffin. He was one of the very first people that kind of opened my eyes to, oh wow, these people actually have a personality and actually should be cared for.
Become a better person, want to strive to be a better person. And the way he looks at the world, it's, sometimes like get in my own head. And, I think of like everything needing to be perfect in a certain way, and with Griffin, he kind of looks at life, just going with the flow sometimes. And, sometimes you just got to go with the flow.
That's how he's kind of changed me as a person, is just showing me that I could be myself and not trying to act a little differently or shyer around other new people or whatever.
So Griffin really opened my eyes to that, and from there it made me a better person, it made me a better coach, it just made me a better teammate.
But Griffin definitely showed me what it's like to have a brother, and I've never had one, so.
Because our junior year, we were both were on B team together. One specific moment is back then we used to make these like weird noises like or like whatever. And I was just, and when Griffin and I were talking one day, we're like, one time in a tournament, we're going to call an ISO play, which in the end zone is pretty much Griffin would be the only one cutting, and I'll be the only one throwing to him. And we're going to call it ISO. And we were up against Buffalo at the time. And I was like, all right, this is towards the end of the year. Literally one of our last times we're going to be playing on beats and together. I'm like, I'm going to call ISO. And when I did it, he was literally the most covered person on the field. There's other people like literally wide open. They were making cuts. I did not throw it to them. I specifically called that ISO play and threw it right to him. And we still talk about it to this day.
First memory that comes to mind was also during COVID, when Griffin and I went to Target to buy an Ocean Spray cranberry juice bottle, and did the TikTok trend of the Fleetwood Mac guy, the guy on the skateboard, singing Dreams and drinking cranberry juice. So Griffin drove me around campus, and I was drinking cranberry juice to reenact that video, and I think we had like 2 sips of that juice, and then the rest of the bottle just went to waste. But it was a fun few laps around campus.
I feel like 2 core memories that me and Griffin will have is these dumbass metabolic classes that we were going to at like 6 in the morning for literally no reason. And then the Bills-Patriots game when it was like friggin' -2 outside and we were freezing our asses off and just sitting and hearing that friggin' national anthem sung by all these Bills fans, watching Josh Allen pop off in the perfect defensive game. I mean, there's nobody else I would have rather had that memory with.
And it was like right at the end of the hike. We were hiking for 8 straight hours, you know. Oh my God, it was so brutal. And Matt and I were just like completely out of it. We had both twisted our ankles. It was so late. We were so frustrated. We were just getting pissed off. And then we're walking back, and I look up at Griffin, and he's got like his t-shirt and shorts, but the t-shirt's tucked in. He's got this hat on like this, super pulled back, and he just reminded me of a camp counselor. He's like, "Come on, guys, it's time to go. We're gonna get there. We're so close." And I just thought it was so silly that it was like he was so passionate about it, and it kind of like invigorated me to keep going, even though I was complaining the whole time.
There would be a thing that we did. We were hiking Macomb, South Dix, and Huff the first time, not the second time. And I remember when we got to Macomb, right? He did this thing. He's like, "Hold on. Shh, be quiet for a second. Be quiet. And I was like, "All right." He's like, and I was just like, he's like, "Did you hear that?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Just silence." And I was like, "Huh?" And he was like, "My dad taught me that." And I was like, "Wow, it's really nice." And you know, every single hike after that, me and Griffin did that every single time.
When I was studying in Ireland last spring, Griffin, Matt, and Kyle came to visit, and just seeing them over there when I hadn't seen almost anyone that I knew for a couple months was just an amazing feeling. And getting to go out with the 3 of them and watching Griffin play pub golf. That was pretty crazy, but yeah, that feeling of just getting to see the boys over there and getting to hang out like everything was normal was really awesome.
So we were in Ireland, and we were at a club until about like 2:30 in the morning, and our hotel was about 15 minutes away, so we needed to flag a taxi down. And the way the taxis work in Ireland is you get in, and they have like the price at the top, so as you drive miles, like the price just keeps going up. So Griffin, first of all, before this, Griffin jumps on a street sign, is dancing on a street sign in the middle of, like, it's like 3 a.m., cops are around, whatever. Griffin's just being Griffin. So we send Griffin to flag a taxi down, mistake number 1. He flags this random car down and asks the guy to drive us home. So we get in, and we realize that the guy doesn't have a taxi sign on his car. He doesn't have the thing that shows the price of how far we've driven. So he's not calculating how much money we're spending, how far we're going. And this guy just straight up doesn't look like a taxi driver. So we get in, and the guy takes off, and I think I was sitting next to Kyle because Griffin was in the front seat, and I'm whispering to Kyle like, I don't think this guy's a taxi driver, and I think we're gonna get abducted. And Griffin's sitting there, shooting the shit with the taxi driver. He brought us home and charged Griffin like $20, I don't remember. But just a classic Griffin moment of putting us in a taxi that wasn't actually a taxi and could have gotten us fucking abducted.
We were at Joseph Bruno Stadium watching a Vamos Gatos game. And it was still pretty late in the season, school had just started, and they were looking for 2 participants to do some field games with. So naturally, Griffin and I chomped at the bit at the opportunity to go on the field. And Griffin and I, through the power of collaboration, beat these 2, high school girls at a tag team relay race with inflatable tubes, and it resulted in a victory for Griffin and I, and we were awarded with a Joe Musgrove Vamos Gato bobblehead, which I proudly have in my office, and it brings me so much joy every time I see it.
It was one of the first times we had ever gone to the bar. I believe I may have still been underage, but we were at a bar called Washington Tavern, and Griffin somehow made his way into their stock room and kept going up and down the stairs checking out what kind of liquor they had down there. And one time he came up with a bottle of Recipe 21 grape vodka and told me to shove it in my pants while we walked out of the bar, so I did.
Pretty recent, it was in Delaware, at the bar. We were having a good time, but Griffin kept complaining about his ears. He had like water stuck in his ears, and he kept saying he couldn't hear. So, I don't remember the circumstance of why we left, but we left the bar and we went looking to find something to get Griffin's ear cleaned, and we found a store and spent a little too much money on rubbing alcohol to put in Griffin's ear and some Q-tips, and we hung out outside the bar in Delaware cleaning out Griffin's ears.
Well, I already shared the one directly between me and him, but I'll do one that had more of us. I gotta give it to our Guptals trips, especially towards the end of Griffin's collegiate career, and actually all of your collegiate careers. Those late night trips that we'd make in the early May, late April, and just go out, hang out, chat for a couple hours, catch up, and just have a good time. Nothing beat those moments.
It was me, Griffin, Matt, and Jeremy. We were going to, I think it was Clarkson, and I don't remember most of the details, but I was saying something about you need good nutrition. So I was like, oh, you want some good nutrition? Well, how about that nutrition that you get or something along those lines. He knows what it is, the nutrition quote. So that is the memory that will always be shared between me and Griffin. And he's got it in his fucking notes. And that will be in there for the rest of his life. Ooh.
On my 21st birthday, invited Griffin to my house for my party, and my cousins gifted me a bottle of Captain Morgan, the rum. And later in the night, we went to take a shot of it. Couldn't find the bottle on the table anywhere. Looked in the yard, and Griffin had it in his hand, was drinking straight out of the bottle. Finished the whole thing that night. Griffin, you still owe me a bottle of rum.
Griffin, I wish you best of luck. I'm going to miss you, my friend. I will pray every day for your safety and that you continue to be the energetic, happy little fucker that you are. It has been an absolute pleasure getting to know you as a person and as a friend and as a teammate. And if you ever need anything, if you ever need me, I'll be there. Good luck, and I love you, buddy.
Griffin, I feel like you and I weren't super close throughout the first couple years of college, and I feel that way about most of this group, but especially when it comes to you, I feel like it was only recently that you and I really kind of hit it off, and I'm really glad that we did, and I'm glad that you could be a part of my life and that I made my way into yours. And between the hikes and seeing you absolutely plastered at parties and just the on the field, off the field, everything that we were able to share together, I'm really thankful for it. And you've made a really big impact on my life, and I hope that I've done the same for you. And when you ship off to boot camp, I know that you're going to kill it, and I know that you're going to be one of the most disciplined and one of the most invigorated people there. And I can only hope that you inspire the people there the way that you've inspired us. So thank you.
I know I said this already to you, but we are all so proud of you, and we know you're gonna do great things. You've been preparing for this for a really long time. I know, like, one of the first things I knew about you is that, like, how driven you are to get to this point. And yeah, like I said, we're really proud of you. And yeah, you can't overstate this. I can't state this enough. You're gonna be great.
Griffin, man, I'm gonna miss you so much. I wish you the best of luck. I want you to be safe and just work hard, man. We'll miss you a lot.
All right, Griffin. Really sad that I'm not going to be able to be here for your final farewell party, but I want to wish you a lot of luck. I know you're going to do great, and I hope our paths cross again soon.
Good luck, Griffin. Glad we became friends throughout college. You're gonna do great, man. I wish you the best of luck with your endeavors with the U.S. Army. I have a lot of respect for what you're doing. It's something I could not imagine myself doing. So a lot of admiration for what you're putting yourself through, and I wish you the best of luck, and whatever you do, it's going to be great. So, love you, buddy. Stay safe.
All right, Griffin. You're heading off to basic training. You're going to kick ass there. We all know that. Keep a lookout. Every week when you get your mail, we're going to be sending, booty pictures, whether, either Polaroid or just get them developed from CVS. But we'll be keeping you entertained while you're there. You're going to do a great job. We all know that. Like I said, you're a very hard worker. Your heart's in the right place, and you're going to do great, man. So as soon as you're done with there, obviously we'll be waiting for you to see you when you're back. And yeah, man, just kick fucking ass.
I love you, and make us proud. There's no better person.
So Griffin, I know I'm going to talk to you a bunch on Sunday about all this, but honestly, I'm so happy for you. This has literally been a life's journey for you to get to the point that you are now. You're going off to the military now and doing what you love. I can't be more proud of you. I could never be in your shoes. That's something that I don't think anybody in our house could ever dream of doing, and you're doing it for real. So honestly, you're going to do amazing over there. Out of your work ethic, the way that you present yourself, you're going to do an amazing job over there, and I'm really excited for the great things that you're going to do. So Griffin, love you, man.
Griffin, as a final farewell message, I wish you the best of luck in Georgia. I know you're going to accomplish great things, and I can't wait to see all that you do. I'm sure this has been mentioned many times before this interview has got to me, but I'm just extremely proud of you and all that you have accomplished. You're one of the most dedicated people that I know, and as long as you keep that up, you'll achieve anything that you want. I know that kind of sounds like a cliche, but I believe it's true. Thank you for just being such a good friend over these last 4 to 5 years. You've been such a good part of my life, and I hope that continues throughout our adult life. And yeah, just good luck in all the endeavors in the Army, and I can't wait to hear all about it. And like everyone has already said, I'm just really proud of you, and good luck.
Griff, buddy, I can't begin to tell you how proud I am of you, how far you've come as a person. This journey you've been on hasn't been easy. From wanting to start and go to the Marines and do officer school, and to Army officer school, to now enlisting to where you're going to go and eventually become a paratrooper. I'm proud of the journey you've been on, and I'm proud of the person you've become. You've been one of my best friends for the past 4 years, and I wouldn't give the world for that. I wouldn't change a thing. And hope you know that I love you, we all love you, and I want you to continue making us proud. continue doing what you love, be passionate about it, and go do great things. And always remember, we're thinking about you, and we can't wait to see you again. Can't wait to see you again real soon. Yeah, guess, I'm going to reemphasize, we're proud of you, your dad's proud of you, your family's proud of you, everybody's proud of you, man. You got this. You're going to be fucking awesome. You're going to be a fucking awesome paratrooper. Love you, brother.
So, it always pains me, when kind of reality just hits you right in the face, and like this is one of those moments, like, I didn't really get this feeling when we left, for graduation, and we moved out of 8:30, but like now it's like you're going off, and you're growing as a person, you're doing what you love, you're doing your passion, and I'm so happy for you, but at the same time it's like a bittersweet thing because, it means I'm not gonna see you much anymore, and it's sad because, you and the other 5 guys in the house, including me, can't do math, we were like a family, you were like the family I never had, and you were my brother, and I'm an only child, and it really did mean a lot, you being there for me, and, just being yourself, and I'm gonna miss you a lot, dude, but I know that where you're going is something you've dreamed about since I've known you. I've only known you to go down one path, and you are doing that path, and I'm so happy for you that you're doing this, so happy for you, and you're gonna kill it, dude, you're gonna kill it. And I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you see that with this video a lot of people do care about you, a lot of people do love you, and by making this, I hope you remember all the good times you had here and all the good times that you are going to have, because the only thing we do in life is move forward. So I thank you, Griffin, and I wish you the best of luck, buddy. I love you, dude.
Inside and out, and love strange, so real in the dark. Think of the tender things that we were working on. Slow change may pull us apart when a light gets into your heart, baby. Don't you forget about me.